Hello and welcome to Math 2412 Pre-Calculus, Lone Star College, North Harris. I'm Professor Algio, and I just kind of wanted to give a brief introduction to the course so we kind of know what to expect. So this is an online course, so we're not going to meet at a specific day or time. But if you do want to get in contact with me, here's my email, timothy.algio@lonestar.edu. You can contact me through D2L also, but this one I check more frequently. If you want to meet up, we can meet up on WebEx. You just need to make a request. Monday through Friday would be best, but if Saturday or Sunday only works for you, just let me know and I'm sure we can work something out. So the best way to probably contact me with your questions is just to shoot me an email with maybe a screenshot or kind of tell me where you are in the notes or the homework, and I can send you back a video explanation. That's probably the most popular format that students prefer. And let's see, I'm going to skip through a lot of this stuff in the syllabus. I'm just going to kind of highlight the important things. So, as far as materials needed, you're not going to really need much. The textbook will be um, given to you as a digital copy, and I'll go ahead and show you where to find that in a moment. As far as calculators, a graphing calculator would be great, but you don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on that if you don't have one already. A scientific calculator will be fine also. Also, there'll be a link provided to the Desmos calculator, which is a free online graphing calculator. And so don't feel like you need to go spend a lot of money on a calculator. Okay, the grading policy right here, the grading scale, I think everybody should be familiar with that. So what's going to make up your grade is homework checks, 4 regular exams, and a final exam. The homework's 15%, regular exam 65, and finals 20. So all this will be done in D2L, and I will show you how to do that in a moment. So out of your 4 regular exams, your lowest score will get replaced by how you perform on the final exam. So it's kind of like dropping your lowest score, except that it will get replaced by how you perform on the final exam. And that actually is typically better than dropping an exam. That actually helps the student out more by replacing it than dropping it. Okay, as far as the grading policy and stuff, I want y'all, you can go ahead and read through that on your own. Same thing with the homework checks. Like I said, I'm going to show you how to do it in D2L in a minute, but you probably want to read through this and make sure you don't miss anything. Same thing with exams and exam policies. I'm going to let y'all kind of read that on your own. You are going to have your first homework check is actually going to be a quiz on the syllabus. So make sure you read through all this and you're prepared. Okay, I do want to highlight about earning partial credit on the exams. So you're going to take the exam in D2L, and what you can do is then take your scratch paper and keep it nice and orderly, okay? And you can take pictures of it and send it to me or post it in D2L. I'll show you how to do that. And then I look through it and I'll give you partial credit. Okay, so that's the only way you can get partial credit is by posting your scratch work. Okay, but just make sure it's orderly. Make sure you put the questions in order, and when you post the scratch work, make sure it's a single file. And once again, if you'll please read through what is required for doing that, okay? It must be submitted within an hour of submitting the exam. That's pretty important right there, okay? So you take the exam, then you can kind of gather your scratch work and take pictures of it, gather it into a file, and then just make sure you post it within an hour of submitting your exam. And once again, I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment in D2L. Okay. As far as submitting your work, you do not have to. Your scratch work, you don't have to submit it, but then you don't have the opportunity for partial credit. So just keep that in mind. Participation, I'll let y'all read through that later. That's just basically saying you need to stay on top of your studies. When emailing your instructor, just make sure you include all the pertinent information so I know who I'm speaking with because I'm teaching 4 different courses. So I have other courses besides pre-calculus. accommodations for disability services. If you have any accommodations, just please make me aware of that. Makeups, we're not going to have makeups, and part of that is I will replace your lowest test grade. And also on the homework checks, you get 3 opportunities on those. So you have plenty of opportunities to do well. Okay, withdrawal, if you do decide it's best for you to withdraw, that drop date's going to be April 6th. And that'll be in the calendar also. Okay, modifications, things could change. You know, there are different things that happen that can switch around the schedule. I will post that under announcements in D2L. Once again, that's something I'll show you how to find that in a moment. Once again, a lot of this stuff here is common to all syllabi, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of go through it quickly, and you can read through it later. And I think that's it. I think it's time to jump in and kind of show you D2L. Everything's going to be here in D2L. So this is what it looks like for D2L right here. And you can get to this from the Lone Star homepage if you just click on My Classes. And when you log in, this is what you should see. Or, well, yours will look a little different, but you should have the pre-calculus. You're actually going to have 2 of them. One of them's for the lab hour of the course, but I'm going to be using the one right here that's 2412 1503. And so I'm going to go ahead and click there. And so the first thing you'll see is announcements here. And so here's a little announcement basically welcoming you to the course and a link to the video that I'm creating right now. And so here we'll go ahead and click on content. And then this will have everything you need here. So if you look right here, syllabus, that's the first one. If you click on that, that would open up the syllabus that I already went over. Then here's our course calendar. Click on that. I'll go ahead and do that, show you that. So here we are. So our course starts Tuesday, January 18th. So that first day, you need to make sure you read over the syllabus, watch the welcome video, which you should be doing now, and then the orientation quiz. And so that'll basically be over the syllabus. So you might want to have that handy when you're taking that quiz. And I believe you'll get 2 attempts at that. All your other checks, you'll get 3 chances. So then on the 20th, I kind of set the calendar to where if this was an in-person class, a Tuesday, Thursday, it just kind of helps give me an idea of the pacing of the course. You can actually, you can change things around a little bit. You can go a little bit faster or slower. The main thing is you have to finish up everything by the deadlines for each exam. And so for the orientation quiz, I do have a deadline for that as January 25th. And then we do have some review topics. And those review topics, those are due by January 27th, those prerequisite quizzes right there for algebra and trigonometry. Then, so January 25th is when we actually start the curriculum for pre-calculus right here. So all that stuff is going to be for the first unit exam, exam 1. And so that exam, all that homework will be due on the last day that the exam is available. And so that'll be true for each unit. So that first exam, you'll get a window of 5 days to take it from February 10th to February 14th. So you get a nice window to take that exam. So don't forget about it. I will email y'all as it approaches to remind you all, okay? And so that's basically how each unit goes. So you can see I have it spread out like this. Like I said, you don't have to do it on Tuesday, Thursday if the weekends are better for you or whatever fits your schedule. That's the whole reason you're doing online probably. The main thing is the dates in red. Those are the firm dates. And we have our spring break, then we come back for our unit 3 and then unit 4 and then we have our final exam. So probably be a good idea to print this out or have it handy at least. Okay, let's go back to content. Okay, so the textbook right here. So here's the textbook. It's pretty big. It's probably around 200 or 300 pages. And I'll just go ahead and click on it real quick so you can kind of see a little bit how this works. We developed this on our campus right here at North Harris. And so it's set up pretty nicely. It's kind of one of those follow along and fill in notes on some of these. And so I will show you where to find the video links for this in a moment. But all these lessons have videos where you can follow with these notes. And then at the end, let me show you. Let's see. At the end of these, there are homework assignments. Let's see where we at. Okay, yeah, right here. Uh, So these right here, this would be the homework assignment for vectors right here. And then here are the answers. So all these paper homeworks actually have the answers. So I'm not going to grade this homework. This is just to get you some extra practice before you do your homework check in D2L, which I'll show you in a moment. So it's pretty nice. So you get a lesson, and I'll show you the video links in just a second. So you complete the lesson, watch the video, do the homework check, and then you can always check your answers because they're going to be here in the text, and then go try to do your um, homework check in D2L. So let's look at that next. So to do your homework check, you actually need to go to course activities and click on quizzes. And this is where everything's going to be located, actually, not just your homework checks, but also the exams. So here they are, and you can see the the due date's January 25th for the orientation quiz, and I showed you that on the calendar. The prerequisite quiz is due on the 27th, and then everything else for Unit 1 is due on the 14th, and so you can see those dates right there, the 14th. And so all the homework checks are in here for the semester. Now the exams will show up when these time windows show up right here. So exam 1 you have from February 10th to February 14th. Exam 2 is March 10th to March 14th, and so on and so on. So they will show up in, see, these are future, they call them quizzes, that's the term they use, but they're going to be graded as exams. So they'll show up in your log. So once again, you just click course activities and then just click on quizzes and it'll bring you here and you can see all this. And so just to kind of give you an example of what these look like, go ahead and click on this prereq 1. Let's see. So here's the one of the this is the college algebra prereq quiz. And so you can see right here they're asking you to do the quadratic formula and it's multiple choice. They're not all multiple choice, but it's a decent amount of multiple choice on these. Solved by factoring, square root method, all that kind of stuff here. So there's 11 questions. And so let me show you where to find the video lessons for all this stuff now. So that'll be back under content. So under content, down here, let's see, we have additional resources, printouts, and links. And so prerequisite review sheet, so you can look at that if you want. There's some documents here that might help you, like basic trig summary, the unit circle, that's going to be helpful, and algebra and trig review is going to be right here. So these are the links to the videos. So if you need a review, as you could see in the questions for the quiz, there was one about quadratic formula, the square root method. So all of these videos, there's a lot of them, but they're all fairly, they're all fairly short. They're all, you know, 5 to 10 minutes or so. So they're not super long videos, but those will help you out with those first couple quizzes. Now you can take the quizzes up to 3 times and we'll take your highest score. So you could always try it and then come and watch these videos if you need some extra help on those prerequisites, okay? So that's for the prerequisite quizzes for algebra and trigonometry. Now for our actual course, you will find those videos. It's going to be the very last link down here. It's the very last one in the column when you click on content. And so you click on that, and I got to scroll back up to it, and it's right here. So I'll go ahead and click on that, and here it is. And so this was developed by the same person that created the textbook. And so this is just an old calendar link. And so we're just going to use it to link the videos. That's what we're going to use it for. And so if you look at our calendar, let's see, after you do the prereq stuff, our first topic is going to be trig equations part 1. And so what you're going to have to do here, and this is pretty simple, it's not going to be difficult, you're going to have to come here and find this. We go in a little bit of a different order. We kind of start in the middle, and we'll go through the course, and then actually the very end of the course is when we start doing vectors. So it's just kind of preference. I just kind of go in a little bit of a different order. The thing about pre-calculus is it's a bunch of topics you do prior to calculus. And so most of these topics you will have already seen before. We just maybe take a little bit of a deeper dive, but all these topics should be familiar for the most part. Some of them, maybe not all of them, but most of them should be fairly familiar to you. So the first one right here, trig equations, part 1A and part 1B. So you'll want to watch both of those. So she does a good job of breaking the videos into smaller parts because you probably don't want to open up a video and see that it's going to be 53 minutes long. And so a lot of times, and I do the same thing, I'll break my videos into two parts just so that it's not overwhelming. Okay. So anyways, right here, trig equations part 1, you want to make sure you watch A and B for that first lesson. Okay. And then trig equations part 2, that would be right here, trig equations part 2A and part 2B. You'll want to watch that. Then we have the parabolas, part 1 and part 2, ellipses, and so on. And so it's just so that the videos aren't super long. And so that's going to be for our first unit right there. Second unit, we go on to parametric equations. And so once again, you can see it's right there. So we'll skip past the rotation of conics and go to parametric equations. And then I think, let's see, then we go to partial fractions, which is going to be right here, partial fractions part 1, 2, and 3, sequences, and so on. So it shouldn't be all that difficult. So that link, once again, is just in here. You just go to content, and it's at the very bottom down here. So additional link to additional math department lecture videos. So that's how you're going to get to that. Okay, so the last thing I guess we kind of need to discuss is how to submit your work. And so remember, this is optional, but if you want to get partial credit, this is what you're going to need to do. So you have one for exam 1, 2, 3, 4 in the final. So you'll click on it. And once again, it'll be available for the same dates as the exam is available for. And once again, make sure you read through this so you understand what the expectation is for submitting it, okay? If you end up submitting something where the questions are all randomly written down, I'm not going to grade that, okay? We need it not nice and orderly so I can find what I'm looking for when I'm grading it, okay? So this it might look a little different on your end because I'm on the administrative end, but you'll basically click on the exam 1 work submission and there'll be a way to attach your file. And so make sure it's a single file. I don't want to have to open up a bunch of different files for each page. And so once again, just make sure you read through the expectations so that you can get that partial credit on your exam. Okay, one last thing is the exam study guides are right here. Right now they are not visible to you all, okay? And there's a reason why I do that, but anyways, I will make it available probably, let's look at the calendar. So the first exam is available from the 10th to the 14th. I'll probably make it available on the 8th, and it will stay available. It'll be available for the rest of the semester or whatever. But anyways, there's kind of a reason why I wait to give out the study guide, But anyways, so that will be, it will be there before the exam so you can prepare. So I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. If you can think of any questions you have, don't hesitate to email me your questions so we can make sure we can address them as soon as possible. And so I'm looking forward to a good semester. And so, don't hesitate. Send me your questions, send me screenshots, or, you can describe to me where you are in the textbook. I'm having problems with this one, or even from your quizzes. You can even, your homework checks. You can send me questions from your homework checks, and I'll be happy to make you a little video and send back an explanation. All right. Well, I look forward to working with you all.